2 maps.
Well, those 2 maps are done, Ben, but now we'll go to our final map of the grand finals, and we're going to throw it to our casters, Dinko and Holker, for the last one.
Well, here we go. The grand final. It is the final map here. It's Trin. The climax is finally here. It's going to be Endpoint taking on Wind and Rain as they head in towards the A bomb site straight away. Not wasting any time as Deus will take the headshot onto Lenny. Loudy with the dual Berettas denying the bomb plan, and here we go. Wind and Rain off to a great start.
2 pistols, 2 kills for Louty. He makes sure that Wind and Rain win that pistol round, all thanks to those dualies. The rest of the team also contributing to that one. Endpoint just trying to really rush towards that A side of the map, trying to see if they could close the distance, but even as they managed to do that, they weren't ready for the crossfires that we saw from Wind and Rain there on towards the site. So a nice fast start to this one. I'm sure Wind and Rain will be very happy with that, especially starting on the CT side. It's a good opportunity for them to build up some money.
Well, we kind of talk about Wind and Rain and needing to get that hot start, right, to have that momentum-based play that we know they love. Trin's a map they can do that, especially on the CT side. We've seen them play on this map in the regular season. They got a win on it in obviously the playoffs day. That was pretty nuts, where Ents ended up having the play of the day there. So certainly a good opportunity for Wind and Rain here to close it off. But we've seen they should have won Dust too, but they didn't, Alex. We know that stories sometimes don't go the way it's supposed to go.
They could still make up for it here on Train, though. Louty trying to find the angle, but it's Deus who is doing some damage. Louty eventually picks up the frag, and oh, the USP from Deus just demolishes them. Mighty Max and ZNX both end up falling. It was only the weak buy from Endpoint anyway, but they're not looking likely to get a single kill from this one.
Well, what a start this is from the CT side. Artist does prove you wrong, but we do see the cleanup come on in as Emil Shine will get rid of him. And that'll be 2-0. Still, Emil Shine, even though he had a quieter start in the Dust 2, he still ended pretty solidly. You know, still had a good performance above the rest. Dale stepped up and had his moments and had his rounds, but not really to the level you expect him to see, and that is obviously why they didn't have too much success across the board. So here we go. It's going to be 2-0 for Wind and Rain. They look to try and continue that, and it should be a third on the board here as Endpoint start to charge their way through the Molotovs, the nades. They're all doing the damage, and it will be an easy cleanup yet again, only losing 1 player. Wind and Rain up 3-0.
Yeah, you could see the idea there for Endpoint. Just pick up a couple of flashbangs, a couple of pistols, try to see if there's any chance that you can maybe get something going in between all those trains. But at the end of it, Wind and Rain countered them pretty well with those nades. The utility stopped Endpoint from doing anything in that round. Now they've got the full buy, though. AKs for most of the players. Mighty Max sticking with the SG553 into the first gun round. And Wind and Rain also have got full weaponry on their side of things. Importantly, they also have the AWP in the hands of Deus, something that was mentioned on the desk as something that could be the difference maker. Deus currently holding towards A with his AWP, but we're not seeing too much early aggression.
Neo comes in. Will do some damage. And the smoke will go off. The Molotov is there as well. Daddy's hides behind the corner, and Deus will take 1. Artist will burn him away, and it's into a 4v4. 1 minute and 5 seconds left on the clock to play with as Emil Shine will take away Emmy, and it'll be the man advantage on the CT side. Mighty Max starts to rattle a couple of shots, will fall away. And with 55 seconds left, ZNX, there's the headshot back into a 3v3. And it feels at this point, Endpoint don't even need to go anywhere. The kills are coming to them.
Yeah, especially into the 3v3. They'll be pretty happy with how this is going so far. Even trades should work well for them as they can continue to stick together, try to isolate some of the individual players left on Wind and Rain. Currently, Louty is solo holding that B site, but it's A that we need to look towards.
Finally, Endpoint are going to have to go somewhere. It's going to be the A bomb site they've decided to attack. It will be Emil Shine going up towards Heaven. He spotted 1 player close, and that might just be a kill. There it is, and that's the bomb. Trade comes in, though, from Mighty Max. Very quick indeed. He'll have to try and get the bomb planted, though, and Daddy's coming in quick. The smoke will be there, and he has to spray away, but the bomb plant comes through. Mighty Max close inside as well. He's looking for this pickup. He's got it, and Laney finds one. It's Endpoint with their first.
Good work there from Endpoint. They bring it into the 3v3 off the back of the opening trades, and then they just keep it simple. They group up over towards the A side of the map. They win a couple of fights. They manage to trade it out successfully. That's what we want to see from Endpoint heading into these gun rounds. They get their first round win on the board, and we see quite an early tactical timeout here, only a few rounds in. I mean, we were seeing these teams keep their tactical timeouts until overtime on that previous map. So to see one used so early here is a slight surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Especially, these two teams saying, don't really mind. So it's quite interesting to see the pauses coming through in the end. It will be the Krieg in the hands of Mighty Max. A little bit of a mixture over on Wind and Rin. They've got the AWP in the hands of Deos. And Emil Shine has an M4A4. So your stars, they have the weapons to activate them. And Lady starts to spam away. We'll try and get an early bit of damage done on towards Lauti, but it's not going to come through. In fact, he'll stand on the bomb site. Ents will start to make his way through the bottom of Pop Dog. He has got the Deagle wielded. Dropping in towards Pop Dog. It's the kill from Ents. The bomb hits the floor and they follow up as well. It's a conveyor belt of death as Ents topples two and Emil Shine looks to try and follow up on that early two advantages. He's got one onto ZNX. He's looking for more. And Artis might just be the man to stop it, but Deos will walk in with his AWP. It's all on Emmy, trying to line them up. There's the first. But they know exactly where he is, and it has to be the ace clutch.
Ooh, Emmy in with the second. Heat comes up above. That's a pistol trying to fight towards him. Emmy spots another man. He's being given opportunities, but he's not able to capitalize upon that. Only a couple of kills going his way at the end there. And Wind and Rain bounce right back. In these opening rounds, Deos has found the opening kill in 4 out of the 5 rounds so far for Wind and Rain. An impressive stat line for him to have. He's currently top of the scoreboard as well. That's AWP clearly doing some damage early. We'll see if he can continue to find success as this time Endpoint go towards B.
Smoke goes in towards the lower ramp. They're just going to run right through it, but Lauti's waiting for it. He's got the first kill. Emil Shine just in behind him. They're not going to be expecting him to be there, so he'll take that kill easily. Deos have won as well, and this is much better for Wind and Rain. This is exactly what we'd expect from them. Emil Shine does die to his own Molotov, and that's when Twitch chat are allowed to use 1G.
Yes. He won the rounds, though, so it's all fine. It's all good for Wind and Rain. They won't be too bothered about that. 5-1 lead into their hands. Not a massive amount of money across the board on the CT side, but if they can keep on winning rounds like this, they won't need the money. Emil Shine spots the man early. Not too much damage done to ZNX. He's got back to safety. It's actually Imi who takes the brunt of the nade damage, but kills coming through for Endpoint. Artis trying to hunt this down, but the Molotov forces him away. So Daddies gets away safely, and Lauti's about to find him.
Well, Lauti does pick up Mighty Max, and it will be into a 4v4. As Lenny is in towards Pop Dog. Got Ents up on top, taking away that frag onto ZNX. And Lenny will finish off one back. So it's into a 3v3 yet again. Daddy's forced away. Emmy close towards Ivy. Has got the assistance of his teammate as he starts to make his way through. 1 minute and 5 seconds. You really need to make this happen here, Endpoint. They can't afford to let Wind and Rain go 6-1 up. They want to try and compete early here. The T side of Trin is generally one of the hardest sides within Counter-Strike, especially as a mix. Danny will pick up the kill onto Emmy, and Lenny and Artis stand in a 2v3.
Oh, Deos creeping around the back of the trains. Laney has to be careful right now. I don't think he knows what's about to hit him, but he sneaks in between the trains. The timing works for Laney. Deos not in position for the trade, biding his time, trying to spot the cross to the site, and he should connect, but he misses the shot. That gives Endpoint the information. They spot him out, but the bomb plant denied. Deos denies everything from Laney, and it's up to Artis. 1v2, spots the first man. Lauti caught jumping. Glock out, there's the headshot, and he needs one more kill. 10 seconds left. Artis trying to move forwards, trying to play for elimination, but he can't find this man. The time is against him. Artis trying to fight, nearly finds it, but Deos has got away alive. 10 HP is the difference, but it's Wind and Rain to win the round by time.
Well, that was way too close for comfort. Artist definitely shouldn't have even had a chance in that one, but Deos just jumping across, risks his life, makes it away. And we'll be 6-1 here for Wind and Rain. Off to a blistering start, but the damage done by Endpoint allows them to have a little bit of money to work with here. They've got the AKs, UMP is there. But at this point, you know, if you're Endpoint, you want to have made sure that you got the good start. You wanted to be competing from the get-go, and it's not being the case here. They have started to fall a little bit flat on the T side so far. Wind and Rain will just try and get as many rounds as possible, and there's Emilshine getting aggressive, confident. It's Deos with the frag. It's Emilshine who'll find the follow-up, but Emmy and Laney, they'll pull it right back. It's into a 3v3.
Not only that, but they've also got the A sites. They've even got connector control as Laney goes dashing through the smoke, decides against it, and Ents is in from behind. It's only Laney alive. Reload has to come through. He finally gets the reload off, but he needs 2 kills.
He can win this. He's towards Hell. He moves on towards the site, but Daddy peeks him. And that is going to be Laney hitting the deck. It's 7-1. Again, close from Endpoint, but no cigar.
Team ace for Wind and Rain. We haven't seen too many of those today. Everyone on the team gets 1 kill each.
Something interesting as well to talk about. We kind of brought up earlier in our first semi-final how Ents was statistically, you know, the worst performer on the roster here. He also had the worst performance on Dust 2. This is a map where he can perform. Train's a map where he can have a good amount of impact. You can see that already. 8 and 4. He's on the joint second on the team in terms of frags.
Even though Wind and Rain have this lead, it's not like they've built up the money with all these round wins.
Yeah.
One loss would break them. So if Endpoint could get around on the board, they could definitely start to build something, and quite a few smokes prepared, but Deos peaks above them.
Yeah, exactly. You know, don't really care about your smoke, and it's going to go above them, kill you right behind them, but it's Emmy with one. Laney finds the follow-up, and this is going very similar to the previous. This time they're finding success, though, as Emmy will get ones, and an X swings wide, and this is the round when you said that Endpoint just needed. The money is broken on that CT side, and the extra sort of cherry on top for Endpoint is they've won it pretty convincingly, only losing the 1 player. So they have a chance to build their money up, and Wind and Rain, they're in the bit.
Even with Emilshine looking to save this AK, it's not really going to be enough to get a goodbye into this next round. So as we were saying, an opportunity for Endpoint to get some rounds on the board, and you don't need too many rounds on the T side of Train. They probably would have been aiming for at least 5 or 6. That's not going to be too easy to get to at this point, with Wind and Rain having a fairly reasonable lead. But it's definitely still doable for Endpoint from this first half. We're likely to see Wind and Rain take a save into this next round, but Emilshine has got that AK, and we've seen what he can do with those rifles.
Looking forward to seeing more of what he can do with it as well. This grand final really has delivered. The first one being a blowout, but the second anything but a long, hard-fought battle for both teams. We find ourselves allowed to get aggressive this time. Mighty Max able to deal with it, so early advantage is Endpoint's.
And for what it's worth, Deos on that AWP, again, has found the opening in 6 of those first 9 rounds, but this time the AWP is not in his hands. That could be a big difference maker for Wind and Rain. That could be something that really holds them back here. As Endpoint attempts to find the angle on this boost, I think Wind and Rain are too close to be spotted from that one, but we'll see what the nades look like for Endpoint in on this B take, because there's 3 CTs to stop them.
Smoke comes in, Deos holds upper with the AUG. The scope is in, but the flash is around the corner. He has to look away, but he looks back, and not a single kill. So unfortunate, and Laney jumps to his death. So Deos, he may not get a kill, but he does enough damage to cause death for Laney. Daddy's in a 1v3. He will have the MP9, but it should be over here. He should not get anything done. He has to fall away. And the decision to buy here might just cost them, as Endpoint will get themselves another. There'll have to be another eco coming in here from Wind and Rain. And at that point, the start that Wind and Rain had, the lead that they've gathered, will slowly but surely just fall away.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility right now with the situation Wind and Rain have left themselves in. I guess saving the MP9 would be better than nothing, but it's not the best weapon to be saving into the next round, knowing your opponents have got the full buy. And it was looking like Wind and Rain were starting to run away with things after they got into a 7-1 lead. So it's good to see that Endpoint are willing to compete. They're willing to get some rounds on the board. And it does feel like both these teams could struggle much more on that T side. As you were saying, Train is a map that you generally need to have good structure, good executes to get those round wins on the T side. And neither of these teams have really come into this tournament with that level of preparation that we were talking about.
Yeah. At least that's what they say. All right.
According to them.
We have a few theories behind that, but it is going to be wind and rain. With barely any money, so this should be an Endpoint win. ZNX with a great headshot has definitely started to feel it in these last few maps, and it will be another one from ZNX, just building up the confidence perhaps here on Train as well. As Emil Shine will desperately tap away with the USB. He'll do quite a bit of damage on the ZNX, but not collecting the kill. Ball planted, Endpoint, this will be a run win for them. It'll be 7-4 coming right up. And that's exactly what Imi would want for this side, as Danny is going to be finished off by Artis, and will get himself a kill as well. And it's now Lauti a 1v5. It'll be 7-4 on the board. Imi has been playing pretty well, I have to say. Better than many people probably would have expected.
Yeah, honestly, he's definitely been keeping up with everyone, which is about as much as you can really expect from him. You obviously don't want him to be carrying the team, but right now he's actually top fragging.
Yeah.
Definitely doing his bit for Endpoint, and as we were suggesting, as Endpoint start to grind out these round wins, they don't need too many. At least we don't think they need too many to put themselves in good shape for that second half. Imi, again, being that entry man, trying to take the point.
Oh, well, Imi just comes in right through the top. It will be the kill onto Lauti. Emil Shai finished off, and where did that early aggression and brick wallness of Wind and Rain go? They were looking so solid on the CT side, but it's completely gone. They've just been punctured and abused by Endpoint in these recent rounds. So, yeah, this is not the sort of start Wind and Rain would have wanted. Perhaps not the end to the first half, we should say. Still can go in their favor, though. Money's not great.
Yeah, not too much for Wind and Rain into this one. They can buy at least pistol armor, you would think.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of sort of the potential with the Deagles earlier. We'll see if that's the case here up against Endpoint in this one. Again, when you get to this part of the stage of the day, you're in the last map of the grand final. You've already played a best of 3 today. You start to get exhausted after that second map. You know, you start to feel a little bit fatigued, and well, that's in theory. ZNX and Emi not certainly feeling that, and it will be Mighty Max taking the headshot on towards Daddy, leaving Lauti in a 1v5, and Endpoint have just built that momentum and just started to sort of snowball effect this. We've seen that in Overpass earlier with one of their wins.
Yeah, they have really turned this one around on their T side. Wind and Rain starting to struggle, and a lot of this is just coming off those opening fights. It's if Endpoint get a couple of kills early, from there they can just steamroll their opposition. That's what happened over towards B in this very round, or in that last round, sorry. In this one, of course, it's just the A side of the map that falls apart, with only the pistols in play. So Endpoint up to a 6th round secured. At this point, they should be fairly happy with it, all things considered. Lauti actually gets a couple of kills and an AK there. That's a surprise.
That's actually ridiculous.
Yeah.
It just walks around the corner and finds both of them. Still, not really too much to write home about. And I'm looking forward to seeing if Endpoint can continue this, because we did see that on Overpass earlier, right? They started to build that momentum, and they walked away with 15 rounds in a row. So certainly a team that can, you know, get a little bit of a snowball going and then turn it into a snowman.
That's what you want to see. Big old snowman.
It is the summer finals, so
Yes.
that
I mean, it was
analogy
raining earlier.
doesn't really go, yeah.
It's not raining anymore, though.
At least it doesn't look like it.
No. So maybe that's what's costing Wind and Rain.
Yeah, they certainly have stopped themselves here at this point. They had a really solid start, and then it's all just fallen to pieces. Endpoint stepping up on the T side. Realistically, 6 is enough on the T side of Train already. They're on par to get more than that, obviously. They might even win the half. So Endpoint, they should be pretty happy with this.
And again, they're going back to this B site. Last round, they took this with ease. Lauti needs to be wary of this. This time, he's watching back towards upper, but there's the double spray down. Lauti looking for more, but there's no further aggression from Endpoint.
Yeah, at that point, you see two players just get ripped to shreds in front of you. Artist might just think twice about walking into that same crosshair. But Louty, he's bored. He wants to kill, but this time, Artist will get the fries. He makes the right decision, and Emmy, the patience, the kill comes through, and there's loads of mistakes being made here by Wind and Rain. You know, they get those 2 early picks, but they just throw it away.
And Imi is happy to just rush towards this A site. The smoke about to go down. Imi almost gets the opportunity, but it's Ent and Deos combining with those AWPs. And Ardis has not found the angle he needed. Deos rotating over in time to stop that aggression. And as you said, a couple of mistakes made by Wind and Rain, but it doesn't end up costing them. The rest of the team hold on.
They have the individuals to fall back on, right? You know, if they make a couple of mistakes, you've still got Deos who can step up and win you around on his own. So that's something that Wind and Rain have going for them. But that would be something that would elevate them even further if they just stop with that sort of needless aggression at times. Certainly something they could improve upon. But here it is, last round of the half. Again, Endpoint should be already happy with 6, but they want to grab 7 as it's the best outcome at this point. And there's a kill from ZNX, but Ent and will shine. They step up with 2. Again, Mighty Max is there for the traders, back into a 3v3.
Rotate is here from Wind and Rain, and Deos just goes straight through the smoke, I should say. It was a great shot as well. You've got to give that to him. Ardis does the same. Both these AWPs chiming in. The question is, who is going to come out on top in the 2v2?
Well, Flash is going to go around the corner. Louty just hides below the ladder. It will be Ents looking down the barrel as Mighty Max has been finished off. It's Ardis, 1 versus 2 with a minute left on the clock. Certainly a player that can pull this off. He's onto the bomb site. Gets the digits punched in, but he gets peeked from hell. Shot comes in from Ardis, and it's a 1v1. He knows there's access to the B bomb site, and he's running that way. This is truly on for Endpoint. Ardis is going to get the bomb planted, and Ents has to come in. He'll check the A bomb site. He'll realize it's on B, and he'll take the AK-47 instead. He has to be quick here. He has got the kit. He runs towards the top of the ladder. Vastly different positions. Ardis gets himself further towards CT's spawn area, and there's lots of cover to play with. He'll get information, but at this point, Ents can get close in towards the site. The time ticking. Eventually, he'll have to go quick. He has got a smoke. 2 flashes still available to him. So the Molotov, that technique can get cancelled out, and Ardis will have to go for the kill. The defuse is coming through. Ardis has to go for it, but the defuse comes through, and there it is. 9-6 at the half. Wind and Rain steal that one away.
Yeah, the AWP is the last weapon you want in that position. Trying to land a shot through the smoke, just could not do it. I thought he might plant on the side of the bomb train so that he had a clearer angle and a clearer idea of where the bomb is, but sadly, the smoke ends up going against Ardis. He can't win the clutch, and that means that it's Wind and Rain who take the 9-6 half. Still all to play for, though. This feels like a fairly even first half, but if Endpoint could win this pistol, that's when you feel like their CT side could really come through.
We'll see if that's a possibility, though. A good start coming in, but Louty just spotted a player run towards Popdog. Instead of rattling the shot and giving away his position, he'll give the info to his teammates, who continue their push in towards the B bomb site. It's Emil Shine who draws first blood. A follow-up coming in as well on the Glock, and he's looking for more. ZNX might just be his next victim, as Deus will drop Ardis. It's not looking good for Endpoint here. The pistol is looking clean for Wind and Rain.
Ooh, ZNX with a couple of clean kills of his own, but with 3 more players against him, he's got much more to be done. And oh, there's the flank. This is going to be it. Too many players for ZNX to deal with. Maybe if his teammates got 1 or 2 kills on the hold, he could have had a chance, but doesn't end up happening for him. Wind and Rain go for an instant B push, really just catching Endpoint out. And they go for the full rifles straight into the follow.
I'm interested to see what call they have behind this. Will they go for the passive approach, or will they just run straight into a bomb site, as we've seen them do time and time again? But seems as though they're going to go out for that sort of passive sprint out default, take the map control, get the info, hope there's aggression from Endpoint, and be able to shut it down.
With mainly default pistols, Endpoint are just trying to see if they can play some sneaky angles, hoping that Wind and Rain miss some of these positions. This is a slightly dangerous game from Wind and Rain. If they were to lose some of these guns, that's when, because they're so spread across the map, they could give those rifles over to their opponents. And Deos trying to emerge into the B site, gets himself the opening, and that should give the Wind and Rain guys the info they needed.
Yeah, well, two-man advantage here for the T side to play with. It should just be an easy cleanup. It's all about limiting the casualties. You've invested so much into this one, you don't want to lose a single rifle, really. And then will Shine, he's going to get that first kill, the second coming in as well, and eventually he will fall. As Artist continues to push forward, he knows there's a gun there, but that's too good to be true. Daddy holds for the bit, and he will get it. 11-6. Wind and Rain. They're currently looking like the team that might just be able to win this Premiership, but they look like that quite a few times in Dust 2.
We've seen Endpoint with successful comebacks already. Artist taking the AWP as we head back into Train. So I think Imi was AWPing just on Dust 2. Now we've gone back to Artist taking the Sniper, and some early aggression coming in from Ents. Loads of damage done by those nades, though.
Imi will take away Lauti, but Dale steps in with a kill. Laney lining them up. That's 2 kills to his name. And the bomb lies on the floor as Imi steps in. There's a great headshot. What a round from Endpoint. They only lose 1 player. Well, if that's a sign of things to come, we've got a game on our hands here on Train.
Yeah, Wind and Rain, again, just not slowing down in some of these rounds. I think they were going to go for the quick plays until it stopped working for them in the gun rounds, at least. Finally, it ends up going against them, and they have to take a weak bye into this one. No nades brought by Wind and Rain, really just relying on these Desert Eagles to crack open some heads. Imi is the first head to be targeted, and his brain is so big that his head's an easy target. Deos finds him, but Mighty Max gets one back.
It was the Shine coming off and just give it away. And we'll be into a 4v4 as they start to make their way back up towards the Brown Hall area. They've got the bomb in their possession. At this point, Endpoint don't really need to do a whole lot. They can just sit back, wait for the players to come towards them and be ready to drop them when they do. It seems like they want to go straight in towards the B bomb site, though, and there's currently only 1 player there. It is Mighty Max, and he seems to play B on every single map and is good at holding B on every single map he plays it on. So let's see if he does it again here as they start to come in towards the ramp area. This should be exactly what Mighty Max looks for. Players running straight through a ramp room. Molotov timing is perfect. They start to come on in. He starts to spray away. Not a single kill, though. All that hype and it's deflated. It will be Artist taking 1, but that's just about it at the moment.
Yeah, at least Artist was there to get 1 kill, and ZNX is slowly lining up that flank. Bomb plant comes in, but the positions for Endpoint look good. Team kill comes through, and ZNX follows through onto the second man. Only Deos left alive, and he does not spot out Artist in time. Endpoint have to allow the bomb plant, but they win the round.
I feel like we've seen like 3 team kills in this game already. It's been pretty crazy. I think we've seen 2 on Dust 2 and 1 here on Train, so quite a few team kills coming in.
We also had, I think it was Laney jump to his death on this one.
We did, yeah.
Yep.
So we've had quite a few funny things happen. No knife kills yet, though.
No.
That would be the ultimate BM. Maybe Imi will do it to win the championship. You know, just get a knife kill.
Yeah, I was hoping that Imi would top frag this last map.
Just so he could really back the whole I'm the best player in the world kind of statements.
It's only 1 kill behind Artist. Could happen.
I mean, it's true. He'll look through the smoke. He'll run in front of it. He's hungry for this kill. He wants to be able to pick up the frag. He's got a lineup. He just didn't take the shot. Eventually, I should take that one. But he's just patiently waiting. Doesn't want to give away his position, but he's going to take so much damage because of that. And he will fall away. ZNX in towards main. We'll get some control there with the smoke coming in, but his teammate has been forced away from Pop Dog. So ZNX, the timing needs to be well played here from him. He's actually going to back off and leave it. And the kill eventually will come through here. Ents drops. It's going to be Laney finished off.
Wind and Rain spent a lot of utility there taking Pop Dog control, but it pays off for them. Eventually gives them the opening kill they were looking for. Mighty Max is again on the solo B hold. This is going to have to be the case. After they lose the opening man, they can't really afford to put 2 players towards B unless they have a good read, and they think they do. Imi's rotated over to that B side of the map, and Wind and Rain are still undecided with 33 seconds.
Oh, well, ZNX does take away Immel's shine, and the rest of the troops coming in towards the B bomb site. Imi waiting for it. Has got the kill, looking for the follow-up, but Deos, he's ready for that re-peek.
Oh, no.
Mighty Max, they haven't spotted him. They have not spotted Mighty Max. This position is unreal, but they finally see him. He'll take damage, but not the kill just yet. Bomb plant, it's going to be the tap. They're looking for the peak for Mighty Max. He looks to try and just commit to the bomb plant, but it's Deos in a 1v2, and ZNX will finish him off. It's going to be 11-9. Endpoint certainly on their way back into this game. And what a way to do it. You know, if you lose the first map so convincingly, then you come right back into it. You win in triple overtime. To win on the third map would be absolutely incredible.
And Wind and Rain had a couple of smokes left there as they moved into the B site, but they just didn't use them. I thought they were going to smoke down ramp at least because Imi had that clear line of sight with the AWP, and then Max was able to just sit on top of the train. It took way too long for them to clear him out. The rotate was there for Endpoint, and that means that they are again keeping it close here on train. Desert Eagles yet again for Wind and Rain. Ooh, Mealshine down to 1 health. Not exactly the push he was hoping for in Pop Dog. ZNX manages to find a kill on the other angle. So far, so good for Endpoint.
So Endpoint just currently sitting, biding a time, waiting for the Wind and Rain players to come towards them, and that's exactly the winning way, it seems, as Lenny will get 2. ZNX able to pick up 1, and it's only on Deos with a 1v5 on his hands. Got the Deagle. He'll start to rattle a couple of shots, but it's not really getting too much done with it. ZNX will pick it up, and they're fired up here on Endpoint. They are looking to try and take this. This will be the 3rd time Endpoint has won the ESL Premiership.
Double digits on the board for Endpoint, making sure that we have close maps to close out this series. Nothing is easy at this point with how close this game has been. And finally, Wind and Rain have got another buy on their side. 3 SGs in play, looking to use those scoped rifles here on train for the longer range engagements. Again, it's back to Deos and Mealshine at the top of the scoreboard for Wind and Rain. Deos in particular, up there at 20 kills, leading the charge for his team. Imi being forced away over towards Ivy, but Wind and Rain are taking a slow approach to the start of this round. We saw them in that earlier one have lots of smokes left to deploy. They didn't really use them. This time they've got 4 smokes left again, but I feel like Wind and Rain are happy to just take contact and take those fights in a lot of these rounds.
Wind and Rain, it seems as though they've got a little bit of a weakness here in their T side, whereas so that confidence that they had earlier is just completely gone. They're playing slower, they're playing a little bit more tentative, but perhaps that's the winning way as Deos has found himself a kill onto Imi. Follow-up comes in from Artistone, that's the trade. ZNX looks for the extension, and there it is, looking good for Endpoint. The kills just keep coming through. It's on Deos and Ents. They try and make it happen, it just won't. It's all on Deos. He's been finished off by ZNX, and it's even yet again. 11-11. This time, Endpoint, they're looking very solid. The momentum is with them, and they seem to have broken the sort of morale of the Wind and Rain side.
5 gun rounds in a row for Endpoint. Wind and Rain won the T side pistol, but other than that, they have hit a dry patch on this T side, and this is what we were worried about with Wind and Rain, not really having those nades, not really having the structure. They're relying on individuals to open things up for them, and on train, that is never an easy task. Desert Eagles again, but we've not seen much from them on the Wind and Rain side here on train. They're trying that boost in towards Pop Dog. I don't know if they're going to find an angle from it, though. Yeah, not really much doing here. Yeah,
they love boosting Mealshine up, and it's definitely worked a few times so far in the series. It's nice to see that they have got that element of teamwork as well. Well, there's just over 1 minute and 5 seconds here on the clock to play with. It'll be Artist taking away Ents, and that's the man advantage for the CT side. The rest of the Wind and Rain side starting to gather their troops outside of the B bomb site. And, well, they've got to be very accurate. They've got to be quick, and there's the chance. Deos is both quick and accurate there with a headshot onto Imi. Into a 4v4. 42 seconds left to play with. What's the call from Wind and Rain?
Yeah, without the nades, it's not going to be easy to move towards either side of the map, especially with ZNX in this aggressive position. First kill found for him, and he spots out that there's no one else here, but there are players pushing behind him. ZNX turning it around. It's actually Ardis to get the kill in the meantime, and the bomb plant comes through. Louty at least gets a rifle, but he's got all angles to deal with.
Yeah, so many different angles he has to look for, and, well, he's definitely a grit player. We've seen him display some grit skills, but that one's just a little bit too hard to pull off, and Ardis will finish him. It's Endpoint into the lead here in the grand final. On the final map, it's 12-11. Endpoint stand 4 rounds away from victory.
Yeah, they are starting to show up right now. Ardis, in particular, up there at the top. ZNX has also been really upping his game in this grand final, which has been another important factor for them. And we are seeing the Endpoint team shine on this CT side. The win streak continues for them. Can Wind and Rain finally put an end to it here, though? They've got the gun round together. Not Deos with the AWP this time, who had been so good on that first half. It's Ents who decides to try to take it early. Can't really find the angle to work with, though. Ardis also wants to take the fight to his opponent, but he decides not to go further.
Shots swing on by. At this point, Endpoint, you know, they should just continue the working ways. You know, you don't have to change anything. They're certainly playing well. It's on Wind and Rain to try and adapt. Louty starts to make his way through in towards the all-off position. He has got the SG looking down the barrel, and Ardis is going to be holding that gap. Utility coming on in. One player's crossed, and Ardis has spotted that. Does he take the kill? The answer is no, as Ents coming right through. A second kill connected as well. And Ents looks to try and follow up. It's all on Mighty Max. A 1v5, it just isn't going to happen. And after so much success in a row from Endpoint, they finally get into the lead, and it's snatched right back. It's going to be 12-12.
Tries to throw the nade over the top. Mighty Max just looking for damage, and that was not going to be happening. Good work from Wind and Rain. In particular, it was Ents with the AWP this time around who makes it happen. I think there may have just been a bit of miscommunication on the Endpoint side, because you saw there Ardis was assuming he just had to watch the right-hand side, whereas ZNX wasn't ready to watch the push all the way from T main. So it was just a free kill for Ents onto the first, and then the reaction shots up close onto the second man is what really made the difference. Ardis going elevated on the angle, but he is unable to connect on towards Ents, who tries to line up the wall bang. Not happening this time, though. Maybe next time.
No one wants to make a mistake at this point. 12-12, both teams in a situation where their economy is brittle. It can break very, very easily. Nick goes in towards Pop Dog. Does some damage, but it's Ardis who picks up the early kill for Endpoint. The man advantage is there for the CT side. And with 1 minute and 5 seconds left, what is the call here from Wind and Rain? How are they going to recover? They've got the individuals available to them to do so. Emil Shine is alive. Deos is there as well, who's interestingly enough not been picking up that AWP. He's been on the rifle a little bit more than the sniper we've seen him be so impactful, even on the T side with. So, interesting. I'd love to sort of hear the reasoning behind that, because Train's a very op-centric map, and a player like Deos you'd expect to have the impact.
Yeah, somewhat surprising not to see him with the sniper, but nonetheless, the rifles are about to push forward, and Ardis there to meet the Mighty Max. Much better this time. 3 kills for him on the whole. That's what we expect to see from Max on those B-site anchors. Make sure to get the multi-kill that Endpoint needed. And all in all, Endpoint made that round look easy. That almost looked like an anti-eco.
Yeah, that was brilliant from Endpoint. A good answer coming right back into it. You can see that's really put Wind and Rain on the edge in terms of their economy. Again, it's Ents on the AWP, which is definitely a little different to what we've been seeing throughout the day. Perhaps it's just a map thing. Perhaps Deos doesn't feel as comfortable, which would be a little bit strange to see after his performances today. But Ents always showing he can use it. Emmy finished off, man advantage there from the T side. Luckily, Laney's alive to trade it back.
Yeah, Laney slides through the smoke. to say hello to his opponent. Deos dealt with at the start of round 26. Mighty Max has already rotated over, so we're seeing Endpoint realize things early, and Ardis nails the shot on towards the opponent.
Yeah, definitely a couple of mistakes being made here, and Laney's going to capitalize as well. Louty and Daddy have to make it happen. 1v3 here for Daddy to pull it back, to stop Endpoint from going to 14, and it's just not going to happen. Unfortunately, it'll be Wind and Rain into a pretty sticky situation. Luckily, the loss bonus is still available to them, so we should see a buy come through from the side. But it's starting to look a little bit more shaky for the Wind and Rain team. Really looking more towards Endpoint as the potential victors of this tournament.
And again, Ardis having rounds where he makes the difference when Endpoint need players to make that play. It's Ardis with the AWP who comes through in that one. Only needing 2 more rounds to take victory here.
Although, Alex, they only needed 1 on Dust 2, Wind and Rain. They couldn't get it done. Endpoint brought it to overtime. Match point quite a few times. Couldn't get it done. We still could go to the bonus rounds. It's still possible. Wind and Rain would have to sort of pick this one up to really make it a contest.
It is Deos back on that AWP now, by the way.
Yeah, I see you. Interesting. Obviously, we don't really know the reasoning behind that. Something within the team that hopefully we'll find out at some point. But Mighty Max will sit back inside of the B-bomb site this time. He will molly it off. And Wind and Rain forced to go back and play a little bit more passive, spread out. But Louty's got the kill. Long spray, but eventually will drop Ardis. And the man advantage is there for Wind and Rain as Louty continues to push forward. He might just get another one. It's 3 kills. Louty doing it all. He switches to the AWP, and ZNX will finally end him. It's a 2v4, and the 2-man advantage is with the Wind and Rain side as they run right in towards the B-bomb site. It's completely empty. It's going to be 14-13.
Yeah, Louty has done so much work towards A. He's drawn all the rotation away from the B site. Wind and Rain can all just walk happily on towards B without any problems in the world. Mighty Max having a go, but Daddy's denies him. ZNX is going to be forced to save this AWP. At least Endpoint have got some money built up because they have been so good at winning these gun rounds on the CT side. This is only going to be the 2nd gun round won by Wind and Rain on their T half. So Endpoint can still keep themselves in a positive mindset, knowing that they have been able to stop Wind and Rain in most of these rounds. And that one was really just an individual stepping up for Wind and Rain. And even though that's what they rely on, it's not something you can always rely on. You can't just assume that Louty is going to get 3 entries like that.
It's like, anybody have any ideas of what we can do? And he just runs through a smoke, kills Ardis, and gets a couple more. Good reference, Alex. I like that one. That's actually a good one. Anyway, double setup here for the CT side. It's Imi and Ardis on the ops. Over on the Wind and Rain side, it is the AK-47s. But Ardis this time will repay the favor with the early pickup onto Louty.
Well, Wind and Rain have lost most of their A control at this point. You wonder if they feel as though they're just going to be pressured into pushing this B site. They've got the nades. Mighty Max has got the information, though. And that means that Wind and Rain decide they might as well go back because Deos has managed to find a cheeky kill towards A.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to see, though. You know, you get that early pick, you lose the advantage, but then you've got Deos who can just be that quick and get the trade right through, so there's always potential there on Wind and Rain to make the impossible look possible. As they start to back in towards Team A, and they've got 4 players still present. Utility is still there. And Endpoint, well, they've just got to hold on to this if they want to bring it to map and tournament point.
They're very heavily focused on the Ivy side of things here on Endpoint. They can't really see Popdog too well. Laney looking towards that as he flicks down. That's the bomb dropped.
Yeah, that's the bomb. That's the big player. And Laney's still going. He wants more. But he's playing this one well. He knows he doesn't have to overextend. He's got teammates alive that can help him. And that's Mighty Max coming in with a big flight. Deos will finish off Laney. But he walks right into Mighty Max, who gets the first. Knows the second's there, but it's Ardis that will take that one. And it's map and tournament point for Endpoint.
Yeah, Mighty Max was rotating over towards Ivy, but he realized his teammates had got this side of the map covered, so he just decided to take the risk to push through for the flank. That makes all the difference at the end there, and that gives Endpoint the opportunity to take it all. Right here, right now, round 29 could be it.
Still a bye for Wind and Rain. Still an opportunity to pull it to overtime. We've seen it already in this series. Dust 2 was a blockbuster. Endpoint with the aggressive stance from Artis. He spots one player, and there's the early kill. The follow-up from Imi. It's certainly looking good for Endpoint.
Those snipers delivering when they are needed the most here. Laney holding down, gets the first, not quite the follow-up. Deos lands the all-important shot, and Imi unable to connect on towards that man. Wind and Rain have got such a tough task on their hands, though.
Yeah, this is going to be so difficult to make it happen. Deos only on 9 HP. Walking right through, it's Mighty Max taking away Lautu, and it's only Deos 1v4, 9 HP between Endpoint and Victory here at the ESL Premiership. They also run back up towards it, trying to prolong the wait that Endpoint have to see. As the Molotov will come in, Deos just desperately looking for this. He's actually mollied himself off, so that's not great.
Where's he going? Back down the ramp. Just trying to find anything at this point. Desperate to find an angle, but they now know where he is. Deos dancing around, but Ardis closes it out, and Endpoint end up winning the Premiership. What a story.
That is absolutely incredible. Endpoint are the champions of ESL Premiership Summer 2019. They come into it, no practice. They come into it, this is their final tournament together, but they make it happen. They leave as champions, and what a good note to end it on, I guess.
Yeah, Imi said this might be his last LAN map ever. The coach comes in for them. The coach comes in a big way. Got to give props to Imi for playing pretty well throughout the day. He didn't have a single map where he went missing. It was a team effort throughout for Endpoint, and, well, Wind and Rain thought they had the better individuals, but I think Endpoint there have definitely showed themselves.
Indeed, what a performance from Endpoint. Congratulations, but commiserations also to the boys in Wind and Rain. They turned up, they answered a lot of questions, and they performed brilliantly. It's time for the thoughts of the desks. It's over to you, Lethal.
If you are Team Endpoint, who picked it up again, let's have it, guys. It's yours. Team Endpoint, the ESL Premiership Summer Champions.
Congratulations to Endpoint once again, and commiserations to Wind and Rain. But Endpoint with a Cinderella story, you couldn't ask for more from them. After everyone assuming that they wouldn't even get past the semis, end up winning the entire thing.